Greetings and welcome to English 108 Technical Writing. I'm your instructor Mike Tardif, and I like to make these short videos to give you a sense of what we're doing and where we're heading. First, I'd like to introduce myself. This is my 4th year at KVCC. I love teaching technical writing. I love working with folks in the trades and the professions, and I find that this is the most practical writing class that I teach because all of the assignments are derived directly from the workplace. So this week you have a pretty modest set of goals, but they're important goals. The first thing that I want you to do is think about writing emails. And it's something that we do on a day-to-day basis, whether you're emailing your advisor or your friend or your business partner. We send so many emails throughout the course of a day that sometimes we almost don't make the cognitive space to really think about what we're doing. But email is, if not the most important genre of writing, it is certainly up there in professional settings. The average worker spends a couple hours a day interacting with email in some capacity. You'd be shocked to know that for most professionals, they spend 20% of their working life writing or reading. So that's a full 8-hour workday each week. So it's not an insignificant thing. And what I hear repeatedly from employers is that folks need to be able to present themselves professionally and present themselves well through email. And so I hope that this first exercise gives you the opportunity to practice that, from writing a good subject line to including a salutation to making sure that you're brief but thorough, making sure that you put the most important information first, etc., etc. So I wanted you to practice writing an email. So far they've been great, and it's been great to see all of the different vocations and aspirations and locations represented in the class. I'm always amazed that KVCC pulls such a wide net. We really do pull from all the corners of central Maine. From Bingham to Rangeley to Rockland to Newport, all over the place. So that's really cool. And then you're going to spend the second part of the week thinking about good writing and thinking about writing for a particular purpose. To this point, you've probably written in the context of English classes. And most of those classes are organized around a very specific set of genres, traditionally the academic research paper and the essay. The critical essay, if you will, looking at a piece of literature. Well, this class is going to be significantly different in that I'm consistently going to be changing the purpose and the audience and the format of the writing that you do. And so the first thing that I want you to do this semester is I want you to look at a piece of writing, in this case a textbook for another class, and I want you to analyze what the folks who wrote those texts were doing. They have an array of tools in their toolkit that they can use to make their text more or less useful to a reader. And they pull those strings as they see appropriate. For example, we may be explaining a concept that really should be represented visually or is helpful to represent visually, and so we may include a visual aid. I'll give you an example from my personal life. I'm as avid a fly fisherman as you'll probably meet, and I spent a lot of time reading about insects, particularly aquatic insects. And so one of the things that we do as fly fishers is that we identify streamside insects so that we might know what the fish are eating. Certainly we could describe what a male golden stonefly looks like, and we could provide measurements and we could provide colors and use all the descriptive language and similes and metaphors and analogies that we want. But really, we could replace all that with a single photograph, a good, high-quality photograph, and that would be very instructive for an audience. And so that's just one example. There are other things that we can do to provide a better, more useful reading experience for our audience. Now, in this case, your textbook writer is ostensibly trying to educate somebody who is new to a subject matter about a topic, in this case a college student. So they have a particular audience in mind and they have a goal in mind, and they're going to try to leverage a variety of different techniques and skills to reach that goal, to reach knowledge transfer. And so I want you to take stock of those, and I want you to share those with me because I'm interested to see and hear what you're seeing. How are people able to communicate relatively complex information in more useful ways? And that's going to really give us a sense of what our palette is, to use a painting metaphor, as technical writers. To this point, you've probably been used to writing in MLA or APA format, and you've been using basically the page, the letter, the word, the sentence, the paragraph, and that's been your toolkit, basically black text on white paper. But as technical writers, we have a lot more, latitude in terms of, obviously all of those things are important. We are going to have to use words. We are going to have to write concise, grammatically correct, accurate, precise sentences. We are going to have to write user-friendly paragraphs, etc. But we're going to have a lot more tools in our toolkit, and that's sort of what makes technical writing so interesting. And the definition that I like to use is that we're solving problems with words and images. So we're trying to help somebody get through a procedure. We're trying to help somebody make a decision. We're trying to educate somebody about something depending on the purpose in our audience. And so in this case, I want you to really analyze a writer's approach. And what that's going to do, eventually what I'll do next week is we'll go through the laundry list of things that we can do to help our readers. And we're going to keep that in the forefront of our mind as we move into your first major assignment, which is the resume and cover letter. Because a lot of those things are going to be relevant to us. We're going to have to pay attention to our language. We're going to have to pay attention to our choice of font. We're going to have to pay attention to the layout of the page. All of those things are going to become very germane. And I'm also going to want to hear from you about the qualities of an effective resume in your own experience, because that's going to lay a foundation. And so my goal here in the next couple of weeks is to get you prepared with the best resume and cover letter you've ever had. And that's going to lay a really nice foundation for the rest of the course. It's sort of my expectation that if you can write a really good resume, there are very few other types of writing that you can't tackle. Resumes are difficult in that they are generally one page, sometimes 2 pages. They represent a lot of information. Some of our students at KVCC have 30 years of working experience that has to be distilled down and captured into 1 page. It has to be easy to read. It has to be easy to follow. And it has to be persuasive. It has to be good enough that somebody wants to give you money. And so the bar is set pretty high when it comes to resumes. So we're going to practice and think about how we can approach resumes in a way that's going to lead to success when you get out into the job market. So that's what we're up against. As you work through this week's work, let me know if you have any questions about the syllabus or the way the course is going to operate. And I'd be happy to answer those. I realize that some of you maybe don't have a tremendous amount of experience with Blackboard, in which case I'm happy to be a resource and relief valve for you. So feel free to call, text, or email as you see appropriate. Other than that, the number 1 rule of this class is to reach out early and often. Let me know how things are going, what I can do to help you, and I will do those things. Thanks a lot, and have a nice day.